Most business owners, they are flying blind when it comes to managing their business. And I want to reveal to you in this video the 4 tiers, the 4 levels of analytics that you can have in your company. And before we jump in, why is it important? So if you are in the situation where the only moment you know if your business is going well or not is when you see your accountant at the end of the year, I think we both know that it's not the best and the most comfortable situation to be in. Like the stress, the unknown. I have a friend, personal friend from Quebec City. Once he came into his accountant and his accountant said, "Oh, Max, you thought you made money this year, but you're actually negative $200,000. So that's an example. I have another example. It's David. Their accountant wasn't that good, and after like 2 to 3 years of bad accounting, the bank actually called and said, "Listen, you can't continue to operate this way, otherwise you're gonna go bankrupt." They realized they had $1.2 million of account receivable. Like, I'm not even joking. This is true. And so I think it's a broad problem. The analytics isn't something that is very accessible. And I've spent personally most of my career in the analytics world. I worked for the biggest companies, from PCB manufacturers, so the chips that go into your devices here. And for 5 years, I was working at Essence, one of the biggest luxury e-commerce retail business. And there I was for 2 years, actually very specifically called the Analytics Engineering and Data Governance Manager. So my goal was very focused on operations, and I was providing dashboards and insights to the executive committee, and specifically from the COO, so the Chief Operating Officer, to the managers of the whole supply chain, from the purchasing to the procurement, the whole inbound, then the inventory management, and then the fulfillment. And so I had the fortune and the big chance to be working with people who have built the operation systems at Apple, at Amazon, like the actual right hand of Jeff Bezos, like Wayfair, and actually at Essence. So I learned a lot from them because they came with their playbook and said, "Listen, most of the things are noise. This is what matters. And this is what I'm going to reveal to you in this video." So I made some supporting diagrams as usual. And you can see there are 4 levels of how do you approach piloting your business. And let's start with the first one, which is level 1. It's almost flying blind. Like, it's not complete flying blind, but you'll get it. It's essentially something that resembles this. You go to your accountant at your year end, and you get those numbers, basically balance sheets, like your personal financial statements, income statements. And this is where essentially your accountant says to you, are you going great or not? So it's very lagging indicators. It's not leading indicators. You're basically like managing your business with your talent, and you hope for the best, which is not the best, because we know that the sleepless nights and that angst and like worry of, okay, who did pay me, who didn't pay me, doesn't really help you to operate the best. By the way, I gave you a little link here. So if you click on it, it's going to be some resources to get a lot of free financial Excel templates. It's really cool. You get different, budget and OPEX and revenue projections. It's from a company that's called Vena Solutions. So I found this resource quite useful. If you want it, like, just go down the link, you'll get it. It's pretty nice. Okay, so now if we go back to the presentation, so that's pretty much it. Suboptimal, we know it. Then second level is you have some dashboards and Excel KPIs. Let's say this is an example of your supply chain when you track defect rates, availability, some lead times, who is doing well or not, stuff like this. So this is great. So usually when you have some departments like marketing department, sales department, operations department, if you have a good people who are real well organized and you need some clarity on how they're doing, they're going to be compiling those, but by hand, their definition of their metrics isn't the best or not defined. And if you have the chance of having two people who need to be cross-functional and collaborate, they'll usually point fingers. Your number is wrong, or my number is right, etc. So, well, it's time consuming. It's not a directly value add activity for the business because it's labor intensive. So most of the businesses who are actually in the juice and overwhelmed won't be doing that unless you have a very, very good and competent manager who can actually create those dashboards. But same thing. If you need great templates for dashboard, there's that link that I'm gonna be providing you, where you can see some free templates for KPI dashboards, some financial dashboards, project management, health and safety. So those are a great start. I don't say like it's better than nothing. It's already better than the previous version when you just waited for your accountant to tell you if you're making business or not. So this is great. As you can see, that meme, you activate your brain a little bit. It's nice. But you can create a lot of noise and and those things don't stick. So the level 3 is the value chain reporting. So let's say in a business, there are two main things that you want to monitor. Is like, of course, the compliance, the part of are you profitable, what's your EBITDA, etc. But when it comes to the actual cash flow and is your business performing, you want to know what is the health of your acquisition, so your marketing and sales pipeline. So that you want to know. Usually that's why you buy a CRM, a customer relationship management tool, or as sometimes we did in the early days, you use a tool like Notion and you create your CRM in there and you manage this way. But yeah, so the acquisition. And then there's the delivery part. And we, like at AnchorPoint in my company, we help you actually focus and excel in your delivery so that you make out of your operations a growth engine. There's other videos where we speak about the client acquisition cost and the LTV, the client lifetime value, and how do you optimize it, and how the businesses who actually grow and scale and add millions and billions of dollars into their worth actually focus on the delivery rather than the marketing. But what is the value chain reporting? So this is the secret that got revealed to me when I was working with those people who've built a business from 0 to billions. Maybe you don't want to build $1 billion business. I personally do not want it because it's something that isn't really interesting to me. I really focus on helping people like you, a small and medium-sized business, scale their operations to the point where you feel great in the morning. You don't have a phone ringing with problems all the time. When you need an answer, you get it. Your team is not autonomous. You have perfectly delegated all the low impact work, and you only focus on things that either drives you a lot of pleasure and dopamine, or stuff that is really strategic. And so if you want to actually know what is the framework of delegation that we implement with the system that we build, like go check out our YouTube channel. We have a lot of resources there. But yeah, this is what got revealed to me. You want to only focus on input, process, output. That's it. Very simple. So within your business, you'll have for your delivery some demand. Then your demand transforms into a backlog, and that backlog goes through different stages of your value chain until it gets delivered to the final customer and you collect the cash. So what you really want to focus on to make sure that your business operates well is to model those stages within your reporting. So what are the new orders, so you demand, then like the backlog. So this is a snapshot of your backlog, processing, ready to pick, out for delivery. So we take an example of e-commerce because it's quite simple, it's very easy to understand, and then completed. So the output. And there's the things that you want to really be doing is I answered the question, who has to do what at what time, so there's another thing that is very useful where you manage your day-to-day is the real-time value chain visibility end-to-end. What does it mean? So that value chain visibility has to be broken down by the aging days. So how many days a specific object that you sell, like a service or a product, stayed in a specific stage, so you can visually, on one glance, see everything that happens in your business. So let's say you sold 32 projects or orders. Well, here they are. You can see where they are located and for how long they've been in a specific stage. And then you can do very clever stuff. You can segment it, you can break it down, you can double click on it, understand what is the problem. If there is a problem, if there's no problem, it's fine. Then you can do very creative stuff, which is like, you can have different services for the same product. You have a premium tier, you have a normal tier, and you can create those level of service where then the prioritization of the work in your team becomes a no-brainer. It's just visually there. And then once you click on, let's say, the 5, it opens the dashboard that is specific to the team that does the processing, and they exactly know what to do right now instead of trying to figure out and understand what to do. So out of this, you can build a lot of stuff that is actually operational and helps you optimize your business. So this is the level 3. So this is like the next level, because you remove a lot of noise. You can already know what's happening right now. There's another element to it that is usually complementary, is the historical analytics dashboard. Those will resemble something that is similar to this. So what your team at level 2 was doing, which is trends and averages and reporting on their performance. So if you do this one right, this one becomes also very automatic, non-manual. And one of the biggest advantages of this is that this doesn't require anyone to do any reporting. This has to be embedded into your operating system. And that's, I think, one of those secrets. The companies who actually excel on the delivery, they do not buy generic software, and they do not assemble generic software for their delivery. What they actually have is they have their custom-made value chain operating system that just helps them orchestrate different types of work across the value chain. So you can still use a specific tool, for processing, like a WMS. You can use an inventory management system. You can use a workflow tool for your visual production of your studio, but you still have that connecting piece that connects all those tools together and brings that one source of true visibility. And usually that's what's called an ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning Software. We covered the topic yesterday on what is an ERP. So if you want to look at it, you can go on the channel and see what it says. But that's something that is being disrupted right now because of the industrialization of software development. I don't know if you've been living under a rock in the last few months or weeks, but in the world of software engineering, AI has radically transformed the landscape. Right now, building software can take less than a day. Well, I'm maybe exaggerating a bit. To build an MVP or a prototype, those things absolutely takes less than a day. So something that would have taken like weeks, sometimes months before, can actually be done in under a day if you know what you're doing. And we know what we do. But then, if you want to have a complete system, before it would have taken like years, and the change management would be horrible. And the industry actually formed around like two main partners. So there was the technology partner, so people who were building those huge softwares with 50,000 buttons, and then there were the consultants who were doing the implementation. So they learned what those technology companies were doing, and they got certified, and then they were taking this software and implementing it at thousands of companies. So the same copy with few modification and tweaks. And then what they did is they took your people, they took your business and tried to like squeeze it in that like very rigid box. But that era is finished. Like we turn the page and we go into something that is way more adapted to how we operate. It's like we take your business and then we build the software on top, and not the other way around. So anyway, I deviated from the main topic. So let's go and see what this level 4 is. Okay, so we delete that. Well, it's self-serve analytics. Like when I was working at Essence, this is something that was really like branded and sold to whole to like to the VPs and executives, that they'll be able to go into like, you know, a platform, go type their question like how many projects need to be delivered today, and boom, it will give them the answer. So that required in the past also a lot of investment, like millions and millions of dollars, like data engineers, data analysts. Like I had a team of like 4 analysts full time, just crunching data and providing dashboards for different teams, you know. So that is expensive, very time consuming, and it was suboptimal. Once again, AI changes completely that world on 2 fronts. One, it's because now the structured data and the language that we use to extract insights from it, which is SQL, became, you know, also like automated with AI. So right now, if you write in natural language, it is capable to translate that into a code query, connect to a database, an Excel sheet, and provide you with graphs. Like same thing. If you've been living under a rock, that might surprise you. But now you can actually attach a document into a ChatGPT, Claude, whatever LLM do you use, ask it the question, and it will give you an answer. I think that's already something you can be using. So you can be at level 4 already today. The caveat there is that, you know, privacy, and sometimes you leak your data to giants like OpenAI, etc. There are some companies like Anthropic. So Anthropic, they do Claude. So it's this tool like Claude. So you can try it. If you pay, they'll keep your data private. But anyway, if you ask the question, it will give you the answer and specific to your business. So this is where I think the actual new like change happens, because yeah, you can always drop your Excel sheet and get the insight. But what is amazing is that an AI that it actually understands your business end to end, understands who your people, your processes, your current pipeline, and actually gives you the answers that your accountant gives you once a year. Imagine. So this is really like where we are right now. This is something that we built for the businesses with whom we work. It makes a huge difference in terms of your ability to be sleeping better at night and be working on your business instead of in it, and actually value your business way more than you could have ever imagined. So that's that's where we are. It's really an incredible time to be alive. So yeah, if you want to learn more and discuss with me how we can bring that to your business, let me know. I'm very passionate about this topic, and I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment. I'm answering every comment. So my name is Alex. Take care. Bye.